Welcome to TMZ Live. George Clooney is outraged, angry beyond words, at least so the report goes, that he has been dragged into the whole Jeffrey Epstein saga, and it has to do with Ghislaine Maxwell and allegedly oral sex.
Yes, this was the claim that came out in Virginia Giuffre's new book, which is all about, as she puts it, surviving Jeffrey Epstein. It's called Nobody's Girl, a memoir of surviving abuse and fighting for justice. And it includes a passage where she talks about a conversation she had with Ghislaine Maxwell. And she claims that Ghislaine bragged to her that she at some point had been at a party and pulled George Clooney into a bathroom where she performed oral sex on him.
So now this is according to OK Magazine, so we have not been able to verify this. Interestingly, we made multiple calls to George Clooney's rep, radio silence, and the rep knew we were calling because he was texting, "What's this about?" We told him, and that was the last we heard, and we made calls after that. So they're not talking, but the report goes that George Clooney is outraged and says this did not happen.
Says it didn't happen, and that he can't believe his name is now in the middle of this. And this really points to when everyone has been clamoring for the release of the Epstein files, this is one of the things you've heard people debating, that there are going to be names that are in there who didn't do anything,
right,
or there are lies about them that then come out.
What Clooney is alleged to have done here, not illegal, right? Ghislaine Maxwell and he are about the same age. Just to be clear about that, right. Unlike some of the claims about other people.
Correct.
Virginia Giuffre is younger, but Ghislaine Maxwell is about Clooney's age. But importantly, it doesn't really matter at this point, right? Once you are tarnished with this brush, people are going to lose that nuance. So I can understand Clooney's what he's allegedly saying right now is, I never met this woman in my life.
Never met her. I mean, that's important. Yeah. That's important to say.
Never met Ghislaine Maxwell in my life. I've never seen her before. This is, and I'm outraged that I'm being included in this entire thing because it is toxic. Once your name is mentioned, you
just forget the details.
You forget the details.
You forget the details.
And you said you spoke to someone who had seen the files, and there are names in there. Two people. Right, and there are names in there.
Lots of names.
But the ones that you heard about had not done anything untoward.
That's right.
But yet their names are going to be mentioned because Jeffrey Epstein talked about, he knew and met a lot of famous
everybody.
people. He would brag about it at times. And that's what people are concerned about.
You know what?
They suddenly get tarnished.
You know what is really fascinating is the Justice Department is now reopening the case. Forgive me if you don't know this name. I'm old enough that I do. Jimmy Hoffa. They are opening up.
I saw that this morning.
They are opening up the Jimmy Hoffa investigation. He was a union leader who was tied to organized crime.
Tied to organized crime.
Yeah,
he was the leader of organized crime.
And he disappeared, and nobody has ever seen him since. And there are all these theories he's under a parking lot in Chicago or whatever. They've decided
the Meadowlands also.
Yes. And Meadowlands to reopen the Jimmy Hoffa investigation, which feels like the biggest diversionary tactic on the planet.
Crank that smoke. And there's pumping the smoke screen.
But you know, this goes to this, right? Clooney doesn't want to be associated with because it's toxic. The president, you've been reporting for a long time that he is not implicated in wrongdoing in the papers.
But he's mentioned
But
a
he's
lot.
all over the papers,
Yeah.
but he doesn't even want that out there, which is why Mike Johnson is slow playing the swearing in of the next House Congresswoman. So the
Congresswoman who said that she would be the
final vote to get the files released.
And there are apparently other old cases that they're going to now resurface. But it's like, do they think we're that dumb that we can't figure this out?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to know about Jimmy Hoffa
They're going to
anymore.
reopen Jesus of Nazareth too to see
Even
what
if you said that Jimmy Hoffa is buried under this building, I wouldn't care at this point. I just don't care.
That would be great. That would be.
DC, California, I really hope this isn't true. And if it is true, this is horrible for George Clooney's reputation, especially because his wife is a human rights lawyer. I believe this may be the tip of the iceberg, which may prompt other people to come out with more information about him, which might end up like a Diddy case and may ruin his career.
There's nothing he did. Well, first of all, he denies it.
He denies knowing her or that it happened.
Even if it
Even if
were true,
Right.
there's nothing illegal about that at all. I mean, by the way, if you don't think that's happened at Hollywood parties,
Right. Better. Well, we've heard from Bad Bunny. We have heard from NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. There's only one person left to sound off on the choice of Bad Bunny being the Super Bowl halftime act.
my vote, Bob, is Jay-Z.
Ding, 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 ding. Show this man his prize. Jay-Z behind door number 3. We got him yesterday in New York City and had to ask him about the backlash and how he feels now about this choice.
So we gotta talk Bad Bunny.
I don't want to talk about nothing.
Oh my goodness, not even Bad Bunny. Why are
don't
people
talk about-
hating on him?
They love him. Don't let them fool you.
I love that. So we gotta ask you, what are the Super Bowl predictions, Mr. Carter? Do you have any? So how did the combo go? Like, was Bad Bunny like super surprised? Was he like, yeah, you didn't get nothing? Well, how did you even pick that?
I ain't got nothing for you. I don't want to disrespect you.
No,
But you know me
it's
about
okay,
nothing.
sir.
Okay.
You were nice last time I got you.
Yeah. I don't want to disrespect you, but I ain't got no scoops for you.
I love.
Got no scoops.
He was so.
That was a kind, I'm not going to, no comment.
very kind.
A very personable no
Like,
comment.
really, really kind.
But he did say, don't believe them. Don't listen to them. They love Bad Bunny.
So we know.
So
look,
who's they?
So the they, it's very clear. There are two group. Well, it may be one group, but there are two issues they have. One, his immigration stand, and two, that he doesn't sing in English.
Correct.
And I think those are the two things, and predictably, that divide the country over the pick of Bad Bunny.
So is he just trying to speak this into existence when he says they love him? Because I'm pretty sure the people who have issues with those two things you just mentioned, I agree with you, that's what it's about, they don't love him.
Yeah, I don't think they love him.
But that's
I don't know what you're hearing on your pages,
It's
Mike.
a lousy
Yeah.
reason not to say, oh, I love his music. It's a lousy reason.
Yeah, I think the immigration stuff is a lousy reason. I buy into the fact that he's not a good choice because no one's going to understand what he's saying or singing because most people in America don't know his music.
Have you ever heard Feliz Navidad by?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have.
What about
You
that?
probably
Okay.
sing along
What about
to it.
that
And you probably
song?
sing along to it.
Name me one Bad Bunny song, Harvey. I'll sit down.
Mia.
Oh, hold on. Let me just say that I don't listen to Bad Bunny. I have seen him perform.
I just named one for you.
I've seen him perform twice.
Are we just ignoring
Did you?
that? I named one for
Okay,
him.
but I'm being honest. I'm being really honest.
Yeah.
I don't even know
I don't
that.
listen, but when I've seen him perform, he mesmerizes
Oh,
me.
he's a
think
great-
I think he's an incredible performer, and I think he'll blow the socks off people at the Super Bowl.
Do you think, in hindsight, do you think people will actually like the show and say that was a really good show?
I think they're going to love the show.
I hope so.
I think they're going to love
I hope
the
so.
show.
Well, but they will
Yeah.
if they watch it,
Right.
if they even give it a chance.
Right.
And that's the part that sucks. It's like, if you don't know him, that's fine. You could say, look, I don't know who this person is, but you're going to watch the Super Bowl, right? So what does it kill you? Watch it for the 12 minutes, 13 minutes he's on,
I have a bad prediction.
and then make your decision. But
Yeah.
to just summarily say, I hate him when you don't actually know him is just ignorant.
So I have a bad prediction. As soon as they announced this, the immigration came out and said ICE is going to be at the Super Bowl.
Right.
And so they want to make a stand and make this a cultural issue. I am worried that during the halftime
No.
performance, ICE
No.
agents are going to go
No.
inside the.
No. No.
You say no,
Not
but
gonna happen. I'm fairly certain that there will be presence outside of the stadium. They're not going in the stadium. They're not
because
going to
they
be lining
don't.
around the field like
Wh-
stormtroopers.
why are you saying
Because the NFL won't allow it.
How do they stop them?
Do you understand who the
The
NFL
gov-
owners are?
The government of California.
how much
can't-
money they have?
The government of California could
If
not
there's
stop the
one
National
thing
Guard.
the president, one language the president speaks,
Yeah,
it's
why,
money.
Then
though,
why are they
Harvey?
showing up at the Super Bowl in the first place? If you're right.
Because to be outside of it is not
on.
disrupting
Still
the
disrupt-
football
Harvey, these
experience.
owners are billionaires who
know,
are
and I
Donald,
don't even
in
know
many
that they'll
cases, are
do
Donald
that.
Trump supporters.
Donald Trump will take on a billionaire.
They're his supporters. He's not gonna blow up the biggest event of his
Then
billionaire
why is
supporters.
ICE showing up? To stand there?
No, I'm sure to make arrests outside, but they're not
Okay.
going to be inside.
We will see.
Well, who are they going to arrest?
We
I
will
guess
see.
vendors?
But my spidey senses are up.
Hi, I'm Benay Reeves, Atlanta. So I feel like Jay-Z did not give much to the reporter because he knows that it's not going to connect with the people. I definitely agree with Harvey. I feel like they're going to make this a whole thing where they are going to be groping people outside of the actual show. I feel like Jay-Z's stance on this is simply because he has ulterior motive when it comes to who he's picking as performers that involves other people, or he's kind of like F you to another person.
You know, what is interesting, what I would have liked to ask, I know he wouldn't answer it. I feel like, just a theory, that Jay-Z wanted Bad Bunny because it is a statement and a jab at the president, but he convinced Goodell that it's a good pick because it's good for the brand of the NFL and global reach.
That's very
Two birds, one stone.
Very conspiratorial. I like
Two
it.
birds with one Bad Bunny
it.
stone.
Coming up.
There is a Netflix movie that has the Pentagon pissed off. The movie is called A House of Dynamite. This one focuses on America's response to a nuclear attack. They actually responded to this with a memo that came out in Bloomberg.
Be right back.
There is a Netflix movie that has a lot of people terrified and has the Pentagon pissed off. The movie is called A House of Dynamite, and it is a Catherine Bigelow film. You know, Catherine Bigelow, who directed Hurt Locker, Oscar-winning director, and
really knows the military.
Knows the military, is famous for doing her research before making a film. And this one focuses on America's response to a nuclear attack.
A surprise nuclear attack.
Yes, to an ICBM that's been launched from somewhere. We don't know from which country. And it is all about how the government responds. Here is the scene that incensed the Pentagon so much, they actually responded to this with a memo, an internal memo that came out in Bloomberg. Here's the scene first, and then we'll tell you what's causing the uproar.
Interceptors have launched.
It depends on the circumstances.
Once the kill vehicle separates, our mid-course intercept system has a success rate of 61%.
So it's coin toss? That's what $50 billion buys us?
We are talking about hitting a bullet with a bullet.
So the 61% is what the Pentagon disputes. They're saying 100%.
So we should say what was happening there. The ICBM is incoming toward the U.S., and the U.S. launches interceptors to take out that missile.
Think of Israel with the Iron Dome, but it's our version. The Catherine Bigelow is looking at data from the military where there were 20 tests, and we intercepted 12 out of the 20.
So what does the Pentagon mean when they say, no, it's 100%? Joining us now to talk about the dispute over the numbers is Joe Cirincione, who is a national security analyst and author. Joe, welcome to TMZ Live.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Well, let's start with who's right here, Catherine Bigelow or the Defense Department?
Big difference in those numbers.
Oh, absolutely. And you can get to a 100% figure, which is what the Pentagon claims. They say over the last 10 years, their tests have shown the system works 100% of the time. Well, that's true if you cherry pick the dates. So if you look at the last 10 years, there's been 4 tests. Each one has worked against a long-range target, ICBM, and a medium-range, easier target. It's worked. But if you go back 5 more years, you'll see 3 failures in a row. So that's 4 out of 7. That's about a 55% success rate. That's that's about what the movie claimed, 61%. So on this, I would score House of Dynamite 1, Pentagon 0.
But has there been a change in the technology, Joe? So, I mean, I guess I would say in defense of the Pentagon, if they had changed technology, say 10 years ago, and now they are at 100%, then I think they would have a leg to stand on there.
Well, then let's have a few more tests and see. The last test was in 2023. There haven't been many tests over the life of the program of this particular system, this ground-based missile defense system in Alaska. There's been 20 tests. In that 20 tests, 11 have worked. Some of them, the kill vehicle, as they say in the movie, failed to separate from the booster. 3 times. That failed. 6 other times it just missed entirely. I mean, missed by 100 miles or more. So over the life of the program, again, you have about a 55% test record. So if you've got a system that you think works, let's test it. Let's show the world. Let's test it under realistic conditions with a stress test where the enemy's trying to avoid your defenses, trying to spoof your defenses. Let's see if it actually works. I'm afraid it doesn't. In fact, the proof of that is that the Pentagon has actually canceled the system that we deploy in Alaska. They've killed the booster, they've killed the kill vehicle, and they have a contract out to build a whole new system. If it's so successful, why did they kill it?
You know, this was an internal document. I think it was actually 12 out of 20 that worked. But it's an unclassified document, so it seems like the Pentagon knew this could get out. Isn't it dangerous for the Pentagon to make us feel immunized from a nuclear attack when it just isn't so?
Right. So we've had great success with missile defense systems against short-range rockets, like in Israel, Iron Dome, rockets that travel about 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers, or medium-range rockets, like the ones we've been shooting down from Iran or from Russia and Ukraine. But when you go to long-range rockets, things that go halfway around the world, that is an extremely difficult target, and that's where the problem comes in. Right. So it's dangerous for troops on the ground, for American citizens, for the political leaders of our country to think they have a shield against these kinds of weapons when what they actually have is a sieve, a colander. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. Wow. You can't base national security on that.
So, Joe, you said that they've canceled the GBIs, the ground-based system that was currently in Alaska. We've heard President Trump saying that America needs its own Golden Dome, like Israel has, Iron Dome. Like Israel. I was thinking Notre Dame.
Well, no, he calls it Golden Dome. That's what he calls it.
Iron Dome like Israel has. Is there a system that can work? 'Cause I remember, and I know you remember as well, Harvey, that back in the 80s that Ronald Reagan talked a lot about Star Wars and that there would be there'd be satellites that could take out missiles.
Well, that's the point of the Space Force, according to Donald Trump, which he created.
So can we create something like this? Is that what they're working on?
The short answer is no, and it's not for lack of trying. I was on the staff of the House Armed Services Committee. I was conducting oversight over the Strategic Defense Initiative program, the Star Wars program, back in the 80s. Everybody thought this was the future. Everybody thought we could do this. It turns out we can't, and it's not for lack of trying. We've spent $453 billion on systems to try to shoot down long-range ballistic missiles over all these years. Nothing has worked. You remember Reagan's original idea was to put lasers in space. That was the future weapons. That's why they called it Star Wars. It turns out that you can't do that. We're still 20, 30 years away from that kind of technology. Then they said, well, let's just put rockets in space, interceptor rockets in space. That proves out to be technologically infeasible as well. So all this has failed, and what you're left with is this relatively primitive system of ground-based interceptors. Now, it's remarkable that we can hit it at all. This is an incredible, difficult feat. It is hitting a bullet with a bullet. It's amazing we can do that. We can do it more reliably on short-range rockets, like in Israel or Ukraine, but you just can't do it reliably for ICBMs. There was an a national study by the American Physical Society, the nation's premier physics society, and they concluded that this technology is completely infeasible for at least the next 15 years. So I'm afraid we're stuck with our vulnerability for at least a few more decades.
Real quick, because we're out of time, which country poses the biggest nuclear threat to the U.S.?
Oh, there's no question Russia is still the big bad wolf on the block. They have thousands of weapons that could reach us, and we have a system that might be able to intercept one or two.
Wow.
Wow. Well, Joe, if House of Dynamite isn't scary enough, people should check out your book, which maybe the title is kind of a positive here. It says Nuclear Nightmares, Securing the World Before It's Too Late. So there's a bit of hope in your title.
There is. There are things we can do about it. It's just not this.
Okay.
Okay, Joe. We really appreciate the time.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Coming up.
Well, the biggest show in show business, it's It's the LA Dodgers right now, especially after an epic Game 3 of the World Series. A ton of celebrities at the game, as you'd expect in LA. But one in particular stood out because of a bit of a crisis that it seems he ran into.
I had 7 Dodgers dogs, 4 bags of peanuts, and I lost count of how many beers.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
BB Rexa was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too. Did you just say look at the water?
I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at. Well, the biggest show in show business, it's the LA Dodgers right now, especially after an epic Game 3 of the World Series where 18 innings, it was, if you sat through the whole thing.
2 games.
I don't know how you did that. Yeah, it was essentially a doubleheader. Dodgers coming out on top, winning in the bottom of the 18th inning. But there were also a ton of celebrities at the game, as you'd expect in LA. But one in particular stood out because of a bit of a crisis that it seems he ran into.
Well, you think about it, the game starts at 5 and it goes to midnight, and you probably had dinner, you probably had some Dodger dogs, so what's going to happen?
Well, let's find out from someone who went through this.
Let's get the poop.
Jerry O'Connell, Jerry, can we put up his tweet, by the way? Because this is the reason that we reached out to you. You tweeted this to someone in the middle of the game last night. I don't know what inning it was. You said, bro, I've been here since 4, and I have to blank.
Did you?
Did you?
No, I didn't. I was totally joking with that guy. I can't believe it. Like, I was complaining about the game not ending, and of course someone was like, dude, it's only 10:30 on the East Coast. And it just annoyed me to no end. Sometimes social media annoys me to no end, so I wanted to say something funny. I actually, I have been very unhealthy. I was at that game for, I'm going to go with 8 hours yesterday. I had 7 Dodgers dogs, 4 bags of peanuts, and I lost count of how many beers.
All right, Jerry.
I woke up this morning. I have to get my kids to school. I wasn't feeling very healthy. I do have to say, also, I'm doing it all again tonight.
You're going tonight?
I'm going back tonight. If it's possible, my tickets are actually higher than my seats. I got to get a new agent. This is crazy. When I came home, I saw all the celebs and where they were sitting. Bieber, Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes. I don't know, why am I like high? By the way, the drone that they had on Fox, that they were showing, was actually lower than my seat. The drone in the air.
Okay, look, I don't want to give you advice necessarily unsolicited, but if you're at a fried chicken place, did you order fried chicken? And if so, how many pieces?
Great spot here in the Valley, 5 stars, love it.
What'd you get? How many? What'd you get?
I got the 5-piece. It's sort of the best deal.
Jerry, if this game goes into overtime,
it's called extra innings.
Extra innings, I was going to say.
Overtime.
Did you hear that, Jerry?
Okay, I'm
you
sorry.
heard that, right?
I'm sorry. But if it goes into extra innings, you're screwed if you're eating 5 pieces of fried chicken.
Harvey's like, if there's a 4th act to this baseball game tonight, Harvey's like, if this is a 2-night opera.
Okay.
Lucas,
this is really important. So my guy from Dude Wipes saw Jerry's tweet, and I know it was a joke, or so he says, but he says he wants to hook him up.
Who said? Why does Lucas have a guy at Dude Wipes? Hey, Jerry, we know you're on the way to the game, but apparently
they said they're in LA right now. They'll track him down.
Okay. What do we do with that?
I can't believe I'm doing a Dude Wipes ad in front of a Louisiana fried chicken place after going to a Dodger game last night and almost pooping myself.
If you get enough sponsorships, maybe you can get better seats, and then you don't have to worry about looking down on the drone.
Hey, I have a question. Where do you use the Dude Wipes? Like in the front or the back? Or
no, this has gone too far.
So is Shohei pitching tonight?
He is.
Wow.
Yes.
Jerry.
That's why you got to go back.
Wow.
Now, are you prepared, Jerry, that if the game goes into extra innings again, you know that you can get up in between innings and take care of business?
Listen, I fed my dogs. I had a long talk with my dogs. I said, guys, I'm going to the Dodgers game. This could be another 10 hours. I overfed them. I left them with some bones, like the good ones that have the like meat on them, and we're going. Wish me luck. Let's hope for another third act in this game, Harv.
Yeah, I got you, Jerry.
Another third act. Okay. You're never going to live down the overtime.
Okay, just bring some Kleenex for the nosebleed.
Somebody's got to get me seats at least on field level. This is crazy. I was in Kangaroo Jack, man.
He's in Kangaroo Jack, damn it. Get this guy some seats.
This is crazy.
Have fun
All
in
right,
the game.
Have fun.
See you guys.
Coming up.
Sia's divorce from Daniel Bernard was already very nasty. Now it has taken an even nastier turn in their child custody battle for their son, Somersault, or they call him Sumi.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. Sia's divorce from Daniel Bernard was already very nasty. There was issues with spousal support. He wanted an enormous amount of money from her.
$77,000, I think.
That's the child support. The spousal support, I think, was over $200,000 a month he wanted from her. He is an oncologist, but now it has taken an even nastier turn in their child custody battle for their son, Somersault, although they call him Sumi. And now there are some nasty allegations going back and forth between them, and they each believe they have reason for having sole custody of Sumi.
So he has asked that he get sole custody and give her monitored visitation on grounds she's a substance abuser. That's what he is saying. What they have currently is she has primary custody, he has monitored visitation, and the reason it's monitored is because he has been under LAPD investigation, criminal investigation, for child porn.
Right, and Sia says in documents she's filed that once she found out about that investigation, she is the one who demanded that he only has monitored visits. And the child has been living with Sia, and she says that everything has been happy and smooth with their current arrangement, so why change it? Daniel sees it differently and is making a big deal about her previous battles with addiction, something that she even admits and says she's taken steps to address that, and also says that she is currently sober.
She says she's 6 months sober, and she says that he's weaponizing her past struggles with drug abuse and so forth, but that she's been sober for 6 months. He says otherwise. He says she has failed drug tests and that she is currently an unfit parent, and that's why he, on an emergency basis, needs sole physical and legal custody of their child, Sumi. The picture she paints, go ahead.
Yeah, what I don't get is that she is saying that she is submitted to and has agreed to taking drug tests.
She said, I'm open to randomized drug tests and frequent drug tests to determine whether I'm fit to be around Sumi. He's the one who said he doesn't want to take these current drug tests. So they're really going back and forth with respect to the child
porn.
I want to get back to the child porn. She said he thinks that she planted evidence as a way of restricting his access to their child, to sort of gatekeep him away.
Does he have any proof
He says
of that?
it was unfounded. The investigation is now closed, which Sia also acknowledges. She says, I understand that this allegation, that the investigation is now closed, and it was they didn't find anything. And he's saying she can't use this as a means of keeping me away from my child.
I mean, that's just not true. That you may not have something that rises to the level of a crime, but if there is any evidence that would affect the kid, the judge in family court can consider.
As for this claim that she planted evidence, he doesn't offer any proof of that whatsoever.
Yeah, he says a friend and her might have put something on a hard drive that was examined and didn't go anywhere in the investigation.
I mean, look, right now she has primary custody. He has monitored visits.
Which he agreed to, and Sia points that out. They had a stipulation that he would agree to these heavily monitored visits for only 2 hours, a couple times a week. He wants basically the inverse. He wants to give that to her.
So ultimately, this may end up where the judge essentially has like a trial and for child custody.
I think so. It's really sad and nasty, though, that this is going back and forth in this way.
Yeah.
Tracy from Pennsylvania. This sounds extremely messy, and I hope that they can work together to come up with a civil agreement. Sia has always been a really private person, so I'm actually shocked by these recent allegations. If there's any truth to these allegations, I do wonder how this is going to affect her personal life and her career.
Yeah, I mean, we will see. Right now, they're allegations, so it's going to be up to the judge to sort it out.
Well, that terrifying video we saw a couple of weeks ago of 3 men, I'm assuming, in masks showing up at someone's home in Alexandria, Virginia. The police have figured it all out. They've solved the case, and there will be no charges.
That's crazy.
You want to know why?
They were
Because
threatening.
They were very threatening, menacing, I would say, except it was all a big
It was a hoax?
prank.
Oh, the
It was a
woman,
prank.
the person behind.
There were a bunch of people involved. The woman who came out of the home
Was she
eventually.
part of it?
She's the only one who wasn't in on it. There were people that know her that did all of this.
But
They're her
wait.
family members. Here's what.
So people in her family did this.
Yes. Here's how the police in Alexandria explained.
Got it.
This investigative team has dedicated over 100 hours to this actual investigation. The investigators discovered that the 3 masked individuals were related to the victim. An adult female suspect later confessed that her and her 2 sons and her nephew, early in their teens, were responsible for approaching the home. In total, there were 3 adults and 4 children involved. What we now know was a prank. I want to specify the victim had no knowledge of this event. It is a moral failure, and we have taken the action to investigate it. And at this time, we're still deciding not to move forward with charges after consulting with the family and also talking with the Commonwealth attorney.
Isn't this a big TikTok thing now?
So
where
to
they're
do
doing
a prank?
Where they're doing these pranks where they're saying, "Oh, your home's being invaded." There's a thing where they're doing this with parents.
Not that I know.
No, it
of.
is. I saw this.
But this is the only thing that makes sense because I thought maybe it was kids from their school that were pranking the kids.
Right.
I mean, it's those their cousins or their family members who were pranking
They're
the mom.
family members, but you heard the police. I mean, I don't want to bring up Jussie Smollett or anything, but you heard the police. There's a reason they kept saying we invested 100
that's a lot of
man
time,
hours
a lot of-
investigating.
So
this
are they
thing.
going to? So
100 man hours.
are they going to now try to charge them for the
No,
overtime?
I mean, they're making it clear. They said, look, we are, even though we did invest that much time, we're not going forward because the woman doesn't want to press charges. But I guarantee you this, there's going to be some ass whoopings handed out.
No, but that's not what I'm asking. I'm saying if he says 100 hours, they could go after them civilly to pay for the overtime.
I understand. He did not say
Yeah.
they didn't
The one
say
thing
that
he
at all.
did say
in
that
these
the
comments.
mom, I guess, had called her brother or something before she called 911, and he was armed.
He came over with a gun.
came
You
over
saw him in a
armed.
video at a point where he came
This
over
is really
and was
dangerous.
running around looking for people.
Stupid prank.
It's really, it is stupid. I'm telling you, this is on TikTok right now.
The fact that you're telling me
What are you-
something's
you're
on
telling him what's on
TikTok?
Yes, I really am. I saw this where they're saying, "Oh, mom, there's a home invasion," and the parents freak out. They're doing this stuff now. It's really crazy. Trust me.
No, what's crazy is that you're on TikTok.
Amazing.
Keisha from Dallas, Texas, and I think that Shayla and her family should have to do 100 hours of community service. From the Ring camera, you can kind of tell it looks like a prank, but when they started stating that it was property damage and things of that sort, it kind of took it to a serious level, and that has consequences. So 100 hours of community service.
I mean, I would just say leave Shayla out of it. If she was the one who didn't know, I mean, she's very kind to not press charges against her family members.
I'm telling you, they may go after these guys civilly to get the money for the overtime, and they should, and they really should.
They could.
Coming up.
Well, NFL great Adrian Peterson's DWI arrest over the weekend. We now have new details about this, and it is a pretty stark image. He was fast asleep, passed out, behind the wheel of his SUV at a gas station.
Be right back.
Well, NFL great Adrian Peterson's DWI arrest over the weekend in Sugar Land, Texas. We now have new details about this, and it is a pretty stark image. Not just his mugshot, it's what happened right before police arrested him. He was fast asleep, passed out, behind the wheel of his SUV at a gas station. That's Adrian's head slumped down in the driver's seat.
I have a quick question for you.
Yes.
Was the engine running? Because I think that might matter.
Yes.
Yes.
Engine
The
was
police
running.
say
Headlights
the
on,
engine was
taillights
running.
on, yes.
That's a problem.
Yeah, and when police arrived, so someone saw this, obviously, and they actually called police to say, what's going on here? There's a guy asleep at this gas station, and that's when police came, and they ended up arresting, and he was still in that position when the cops got there, right?
Yes, they said they actually had to wake him up, according to court documents we obtained. They had to wake him up, tapped on the glass. It actually took 2 of them to wake him up. When they got him out, they said he smelled of alcohol, and he had admitted to drinking 2 or 3 shots of vodka prior at a poker game. And this is relevant because we spoke to 2 people who said they were at that poker game. And not only did they say they were at the poker game, they saw Adrian Peterson, quote unquote, drinking like a fish while at this poker game. So we have a picture of it here where you can see him at said poker game. This was around 1:50 a.m. And this pullover, this traffic stop, occurred at 9:23 a.m.
You got to wonder, I mean, if he's leaving and he was that blank-faced drunk, why'd they let him go?
Well,
I'm serious.
According to one of the people I talked to, they tried to call.
Why did the people,
Why
not
did
the
the
cops,
people- no,
why did the
no,
people
no,
at the
right,
poker?
Why the one of the people I talked to said they tried to call him an Uber and he refused. He said, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. And from a map I've seen of where the poker game was to where Sugarland, Texas is, it's 26 minutes to get from where he was.
How
So,
far did he get before he pulled over?
whatever 26 minutes was. So,
so it was 26
that's where he
minutes
ended up in Sugarland.
We
Yes,
all
yeah,
know
yeah,
this,
yeah.
and this is awful, but we've all been there where there's that person at the party like, I'm fine, I'm fine. And I imagine he's thinking, I'm driving across, probably open land in Texas that, it's no big deal. But he stops at this gas station and, you always think, oh, you're not going to encounter anyone on the road. You have no idea what's going to happen on the road.
Well, he probably doesn't remember any of it.
For what it's worth,
yeah.
They say he refused a breathalyzer, and they've taken a blood sample, and the results are still pending.
So
on that.
refusing the breathalyzer right there, you get your license
License
suspended.
will be suspended.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is some trouble.
Hi, I'm Amina from Cliffwood, New Jersey. And I hope that none of his behavior is like an early sign of CTE or anything. Either way, it was very irresponsible what he's been doing. I'm just glad nobody was hurt. I don't know what he's going through, but I just hope that he could get it together soon.
Yeah. By the way, I just remembered, he has a DWI in Minnesota also, right?
Yeah, stemming from a draft day party for the Minnesota Vikings.
How far away?
That was in April.
How far
Of
away?
this year?
Yes.
April this
April,
year.
yeah, NFL draft. Yeah.
So that one probably hasn't even been resolved yet.
I don't even think he's been formally charged yet in that one. I don't think prosecutors have filed anything yet.
But that could have an impact on sentencing.
Oh yeah, I just listened to the audio of the 911, and you can hear them say, "Can you run the priors of DWI?" Even while he was doing the traffic stop. So
he needs help.
Coming up.
Halle Bailey and DDG have actually come to some sort of a peace treaty here. They seem to have put it all to rest, and I can only assume it's for the sake of their child. They have each dropped their restraining orders.
Be right back.
Well, we just told you about how things are getting really heated between Sia and her ex. Meanwhile, Halle Bailey and DDG have actually come to some sort of a peace treaty here after warring for such a long time with restraining orders, accusations of abuse. They seem to have put it all to rest, and I can only assume it's for the sake of their child, but they have each dropped their restraining orders, and they also have reached an agreement on child custody.
Yeah, so this is really good to see because it was very contentious between them. They were definitely throwing lots of shots at each other on social media.
And in court.
And in court, very much so to where the judge was like, listen, I'm not listening to either one of you guys. Just both of you nip it in the bud. Do not be talking on social media. So it's good that they were able to come together, put all of their drama to the side. DDG will get Halo on Wednesdays and certain weekends. I'm sure he'll get him on holidays as well. So this seems like what they wanted all along, was just a nice co-parenting agreement, set schedule.
So let me tell you, I have seen hundreds of these cases. And what happens is you have 2 people who get in such, that the hatred just bubbles up so that they go after one another. And there's a moment where it gets so bad that they look at each other and say, we're screwing up our kid and we're ruining our lives. And it's like an epiphany. It doesn't just happen over time. It gets so bad there's this moment where they get shaken.
There's probably a moment where they notice that the child is impacted.
That's right.
And
then all of a sudden, it
up.
all changes. And I have seen this literally hundreds of times.
Hi, my name is Abiola Agoro, and my biggest concern is just always making sure that the kid is going to be safe. You know, we know that Black women face so many dangerous situations whenever it comes to domestic violence. So I'm happy to see that the situation seems to be becoming more amicable. And I am just hoping that little Halo gets to be as safe as possible because he is beautiful. And this whole situation is just kind of been very heartbreaking to watch.
Well, hopefully it resets now for good.
Yeah.
What else you guys want to talk about?
My name is Elijah, and I'm from Maryland. And I'll be talking about the Adrian Peterson arrest. He clearly has a drinking problem. This is not his first time actually getting arrested for DWI. He was arrested back in April while he was in Minnesota around 3 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't realize that he's putting people's lives in danger when he drinks and drives. I don't know if he has good people around him, but he needs help.
Yeah, I mean, he has gotten lucky, and someone's got to make that clear to him that you now have 2 of these arrests, and it could have been way worse than a DWI.
The line between DUI and manslaughter is luck.
Yep.
One more.
Hi, my name is Vivian, and I'm in Southern California. So let's talk about George Clooney, because the Virginia Giuffre wrote a book about Epstein, and she claimed that Ghislaine Maxwell said that she performed an act on George Clooney. And, you know, some of George Clooney's associates say that's not true. Now, this is kind of tough because, you know, Virginia, as we know, died by suicide, so she cannot provide additional information. And if Clooney wanted to sue for defamation, she's dead. He could possibly go after the publisher, but then again, it depends on if it was presented as fact or if it was just repeated as I heard.
He's not gonna sue.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not about him suing. But you're right. I mean, you know, on the other side, it's like, how do you tell what is absolutely rock solid true in the book?
Yeah.
If she's dead.
And when and if the Epstein files come out, yeah, there are going to be people who want to sue, but then the question becomes, who do you sue?
That's absolutely right.
Coming up.
Big weekend that just went by for Chris Evans, particularly his wife, because they have...
not in particular his wife, but...
Well, meaning because his extended family would also be very happy about this. Chris and his wife, Alba, are first-time parents.
Yep.
Had a little baby girl.
Be right back.
So it turns out this was a big weekend that just went by for Chris Evans and his family, in particular his wife, because they have...
not in particular his wife, but...
Well, meaning because his extended family would also be very happy about this.
Fair.
Chris and his wife, Alba, are first-time parents.
Yep.
Had a little baby girl, Alma Grace Baptista Evans.
They live more privately than just about any
a lot of
celebrity
people didn't
couple.
even know that they were married for
I know.
a long time. They got married back in 2023.
And even the pregnancy was so low key. I mean, there were people who wrote one of their fathers, I forget which,
on a post, something on Father's Day made a reference to "You're going to be next, Chris."
Right, and the father just like inadvertently kind of spilled the beans.
Right.
But anyway, congratulations to them.
Congratulations to them.
Yep.
That's going to do it for us. By the way, please keep the people of Jamaica in your thoughts and prayers because they are going through it right now, including some of my family members. So, a rough day.